Sorry for the waiting. Currently, Chu Chu is trying to get into the talk now, so we are gonna start the talk without her for a bit, and she will join us in a minute. So for today's talks, the first 5 to 10 minutes, I will be briefly introduce the exhibition currently happening in our Aberdeen Gallery, and also about a short introduction of the 4 artists. And then we're gonna show a video we made for this exhibition. It's a virtual tour, so everyone can have a like a visual reference of like what this exhibition looks like. And then, so first of all, this exhibition through the lenses, it's actually an exhibition we started doing in celebration of International Women's Day. And we present this group exhibition, showcase the works by 4 international female artists who all use a camera as the medium of expression. So Cai Wen-You, first of all, she's a New York-based photographer, and she started using camera as a medium when she first received her camera when she was like 5. So she's a very experienced in using the camera. And from her picture, we can see a very emotional and like a loving kind of a feeling, because she used the camera to record her daily life, and also her father, who's also very famous Chinese artist Cai Wen-Yu's like work. So through her work, we can feel a very like loving, a very playful family atmosphere. And then Chu Chu, who will be joining us in a minute, she's a Hangzhou-based artist, and she's well known for her photographic and lithographic works, which are deeply influenced by Chinese philosophies and classical text. And her work is famously combining apply the calligraphy directly onto the photographs, which features like branches and flowers, like the things she found inspiration in, from the botanical garden near her home. And then Barbara Edelstein, who's an American artist, who is also is fascinated about the leaves and the water and the nature and life. So I remember last time we did a exhibition for Barbara and Zhang Jianjun, and Barbara shared her interest in like Chinese philosophy and talking about her yoga and meditation practice in LA. So from her work, the juxtaposition of her photography of the leaf and some of the membranes of the leaves, so you can feel like kind of like a zenness in them. So lastly, Isa Ho, Taiwanese artist who focuses in digital and contemporary photography. So her signature works is about digitally printing surrealist images onto an aluminum board, and through which she addresses like social concerns, and she regards them as a personal responsibility to the society to present those to the audience. So okay, so what this exhibition looks like, we're gonna ask my colleague. Oh, welcome, Chu Chu.
Hey, 大家好.
Okay, so now we're gonna share the video of this exhibition.
Can you guys see this video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In celebration of International Women's Day, Edelstein Fine Arts is pleased to present a group exhibition showcasing works of 4 international female artists who use the camera in different ways as their medium of expression. They include Cai Wen-You, Barbara Edelstein, Chu Chu, Isa Ho. Cai Wen-You, a photographer living in New York, Cai's characteristic works capture the cherished memories of her father, Cai Wen-You, a renowned artist. Chu Chu, a cross-media artist from Hangzhou. Chu, who has a PhD in calligraphy, meticulously scripts the characters directly to her photographic botanical images, making each one of a kind. And Barbara Edelstein, an American artist living in Shanghai, is fascinated by nature and tactively combines her photos with Chinese ink. While Edelstein's portrayal of leaves and water deftly blends Western and Asian sensibilities. And Isa Ho, a digital artist based in Taiwan, draws inspiration from her surrounding and daily life. Ho is well known for her aluminum board digital prints of surrealist motifs. Her photos address the issues of a social concern.
Okay. Thank you for watching. So for the video, everyone can see that the exhibitions feature the works of artists who really using the camera as the medium to express themselves or the societal issues in a very in a creative way. So, but today's talk, we would like to invite all of the 4 artists to share their the stories, or maybe the stories and the creative ideas behind the works which are featured in this exhibition. And then also they can tell us a bit more about the current practice, their new exhibitions and the new works as well. So first, so Wen-You, you would like to tell us a bit about the works that are showcasing in the exhibition?
Hi. Is the slideshow working?
Yes.
I just put together some slides to kind of help demonstrate some of what I can kind of share with everybody about my work from the exhibition at Edelstein Fine Arts. We could start, could go into the next slide. Yes. Well, I think the video that you had shared earlier had well demonstrated how the work is shown currently. And currently we have in the exhibition, there are 3 photographs from a larger collection of photographs that I have created in 2009, and it is a greater series that I exhibited in Macau at the time at the MGM Cotai in called Rooster, Tiger, Sheep by Snake, and there are 173 photographs in that exhibition. So in order to understand the particular images that are featured in this show, it helps to explain or kind of give a little bit more of a preview of what I had done previously. And this exhibition, Rooster, Tiger, Sheep by Snake, was a collection of photographs that I had taken over 12 years, from 2006 to 2018, of my immediate family, my mother, my father, and my sister. The rooster being my father, the tiger is my mother, and the sheep is my sister. And I kind of started photographing. Well, I've been photographing from a really young age, as Shannon had mentioned, and it's sort of my way of kind of capturing the memories around me, and it's sort of my personal archive and documentation. But I've always felt like in this collection of photographs that for this exhibition I created, I went back through my archives to really kind of examine my relationship with the people around me. And sort of the family dynamics. And so it wasn't even in those moments in particular of each taken photographs where I was thinking about things in particular to the concept of my dynamic with them, but it's more in the documentation and the accumulation of all the photographs taken over the years that I was able to go back and really examine these moments that I had with my family, even though they are through the mundane and like sometimes the mundane, which are in our home life, or sometimes the moments that were from our travels or jet lags, and or through work. And so I wanted to go back into these, but I didn't want to specifically say that they are my family, even though that is implied, because I wanted for people visiting the exhibition to be able to kind of see for themselves that maybe they might recognize elements of the intimacy and the relationship with the between the dynamics between the characters, and perhaps see their own versions within their own lives with their relationships and their environments. So it's sort of my way of connecting with the audience. And at the time at MGM Cotai in Macau, which was a casino, they wanted to feature this exhibition because of in their casino. But even though it seems sort of out of context, I was really interested in how it's not necessarily an art context, but people can sort of have a surprise art experience in something that they might have not necessarily been expecting in their visit. And one of the exciting things that I heard from an audience feedback was that they were going to Macau on like kind of a friend group, like a group of men traveling together to go gambling. And then they stumbled upon an unexpected exhibition about a family, and it made them have warm feelings about their own families, which I thought was a really fun feedback that I had received. And part of the exhibition that I wanted to demonstrate in this format, you could also see the next slides, the next couple of slides too, is that, can we move forward? Is that I didn't want to demonstrate the images in a linear format because I was going through my archives of the family, that oftentimes when we think about our memories and our experiences, that it's not necessarily linear, but there are moments in time that kind of come up. So I sort of wanted to evoke that sort of a floating and passing thoughts and of imagery and experiences. We could move forward. In the next, and it's sort of my own way of also like presenting kind of a brain map of my of how I see things too. because I have a very hard time picking one particular photograph to kind of encapsulate an entire experience. I feel like everything together has to, like, so many moments combined can really tell a bigger story. So I that's how I end up with not one photograph, but 173 photographs, which was sort of difficult to narrow down at the time as well. And this is my family looking at photographs of themselves. And I feel like I also learned to photograph with my family because I never felt like I was particularly photogenic growing up, but they kind of were people that really embraced a camera. And my own particular upbringing, where my father being an artist and also being somebody that a lot of people were capturing, photographing, filming a lot. I felt like I was in a very unique perspective of photographing, of capturing a side that was more intimate than other people were able to. So I wanted to, so I knew from a young age that I was able to see a particular perspective that wasn't shared, even though there might be documentary films that are made about him, or that there are a lot of there are documentations everywhere in a more public way, but I wanted to share something that was a little bit more unique and intimate, and that was only from the perspective as a family that we could capture. And my mother is also very expressive. I've always noticed how expressive she is. And like myself, I have never been particularly expressive. So I've, like, growing up, kind of been studying their characters. And my sister is nearly 14 years younger than me. And she, for at various ages, like, I would notice. So in the earliest photograph, she would be about 3 or 4 years old, and I would notice that even though she looks similar to me from a young age, she was also very expressive from the camera. So from behind the camera, I was always studying her in any given moment. And in the photographs, my parents seem to look kind of similar, but my sister really like grows up over the course of 12 years. So in this collection, we can also see the gradual development of our family over the years. So really, like, the real work for me is to go through the archives and, like, pinpoint stories that I like to tell, and maybe find things that are relatable with others, and have that become a dialogue with other people. And so that's what I'm always looking for. I also in my early 20s, I wrote a book called When You Make No Art, and it was my way of trying to figure out what my particular artistic expression is, even though because I grew up in a family of artists, that I didn't immediately gravitate towards one particular through, like, any kind of particular mediums, and I was more interested in documentation. I don't draw well, so I photograph as a way to really capture things, capture moments, and then curate them. And in my other practice as well, which is I have a art platform called Special in New York. It's kind of like a gallery and shop, and it was a way, as a kind of coinciding with my photography, has been a way for me to go through my archive or like to kind of recreate concepts through the past and brainstorming, building together. But this image is also from that exhibition in Macau, which was sort of the outside, in a lobby area on the outside of the exhibition. That I thought it was interesting that usually these areas are reserved for retail spaces or advertisement, and instead I was able to share a family photograph. The following photos are a more close-up of the particular 3 photographs in the exhibition currently, and then I also added a few more to next photo. I also, part of that experience, that show, I put it together in a photo book because because this is more of an accessible format for to experience the images beyond just the exhibition. And with every exhibition photograph, there is a coinciding caption to it, but the caption isn't necessarily just like a place and a time, but more of my own perspective or memory of those moments looking back. Next photo. So this is a photograph from 2009, and that is currently on view. And then the next photo. This is a photograph from in 2012 during Hurricane Sandy, when we didn't have electricity. This is actually one of the few photographs from the series that was captured on digital camera. Most of my photographs have been filmed, and the reason that I usually take photographs on film is because I don't like to immediately have the feedback of what I captured, and instead there's like a tactile quality to what I receive from a photograph, maybe weeks after, days after, weeks after, even months after sometimes. And then I usually get a print of it, and it becomes an object. So it's like a quick way of having a physical memory of a moment. But this was one of the few photographs in the series that was captured on a digital camera. And this is a photograph that I took when I was photographing my father on one of his exhibition projects. He was making work, and he was napping, and these are moments that people don't necessarily capture for like publicity purposes, but this is kind of like a more intimate photograph. Next. And then this is from like a family travel. And in none of the photographs, I'm not in any of the photographs, except for in this particular photograph, which is like there's a flash of myself in a mirror. Or in other photographs, maybe my foot would be inside the show in the photo. And it kind of, this was like when we ordered room service, and our particular family, like we could travel anywhere in the world, but like there's always like sort of a push and pull of whether to go out to eat or stay inside, and these are kind of like the dynamics of sort of the conflict, the inner like light conflicts within the family that I like to show with the photographs, which I also wanted to demonstrate in the captions. The next photo. And then there's also just like, I just wanted to also capture things that were, just not just from different kind of angles. It's not just about my father per se, but also like to kind of capture memories of my mother in particular moments as well. Next photo. And also like moments of sort of light humorous moments that we might not necessarily, that really demonstrates my direct relationship with the subjects in front of the camera, and also as a way to composite what I see in my particular perspective on things. Next photo. And then this is also, this was also part of the collection where it's this was from a family funeral, and we're at the first floor of a building complex where children are going to neighboring children's are going to the swimming pool, but we're going through a family ritual. And I wanted to include this photograph as a way to, because this is also a project that I'm now developing now, which is that over the years, as I've just taken photos through my travels, this particular series was about my immediate members of my family, but through the collection of having done this photo exhibition, and then also having written my book in the past and having shared the writings and the photographs, that my feedback has always been that people give me feedback about what they see in me that I didn't necessarily understand or know before. So I grew up in New York and I was born in Japan, so I never lived for a long duration of time in China, and my whole family is from China. And over the years, through those projects, I was able to get the feedback that more and more people felt like there were elements that have been inherited from my upbringing that was naturally Chinese, that I just thought was that was just uniquely my own immediate family, and our level of superstition, or like the way we do things as a family. And so I have started to expand the sort of the study of personal research as a way that's also somewhat anthropological to understanding my culture and understanding where particularly the culture in my family's hometown in Trenzhou, China, which is the Minnan culture. So now I have started to work on a project where I'm looking through photographs from my experiences in Trenzhou and having experienced all kinds of family rituals, particularly funerals of the elderly members of my family in the last several years, and collecting that and creating a collection of photographs from that, because even Chinese people living elsewhere in China have told me, I've learned through my dialogue with them, that they also do not experience the same type of rituals and ceremonies and that our family has. So that's one of my projects that I'm currently working on. And yeah, I think that everything has always been sort of a work in progress, and nothing's really complete. There's no finite moment. I feel like the finite moment with that exhibition with Rooster, Tiger, Sheep by Snake was that there was an opening date. So I had to look back from when we had a show that was opening, and then from then on going back in time. But I feel like that collection of work is always continuing. And so in looking through family rituals, I'd also created collections of work about my grandparents, and those photographs, there were certain finite moments upon their death, but then as a family, we continue on our lineage. So in some ways, everything is always in flux. And so that's sort of my process, I guess.
Thank you, Wen-You, for sharing your creative practice and also your current projects. Maybe next one we move to Chu Chu. 你可以讲一下，就是你现在的，就是在我们这个展览中间展出的作品，还有你现在的一些新的创作吗？哎，你的那个录音是关闭的，你要 unmute。
现在呢？
OK。
有收到我 PPT 吗？那个可以播放吗？
那个我们的同事打不开，因为是那个可能是国内网。
哦，那就好，可以啊。
可以播我們
可以。
Debbie， 你可唔可以播佢個Chu Chu嗰個現場相啊，或者係佢作品嗰啲相
OK，
我們同時播一下你就是在展覽中間的作品。你可以先開始說一下，然後他找到就會投上來。
就是主要說一下，這是展覽作品，對吧？
還有
當時展出了我白蘭花系列、果實系列和樹語。它這個是我物非物系列。那我這個物非物系列的主要開始是攝影的一個創作。差不多應該是在2010年左右那個時候創作的物非物系列。因為物非物系列是我的一個主要系列，然後早期它是有容器系列、刀身系列，然後還有城市系列。那麼在後面的話又創作了果實、白蘭花和樹語這三個。那麼他這個作品主要是用黑白這個畫質來體現的，然後都是由大畫幅來拍攝的。那麼這個也是我應該說是差不多10年以前主要創作的一個攝影的一個題材。那麼我拍的都是這些植物而且這些植物呢，它呢不是鮮活的比如說白蘭花是我們這邊江南比較小的花，就是差不多開在這個季節。那麼我們會把它帶在身上，然後會放在枕邊，它會散發出一種非常非常的那種香味，那種香味很優雅但是它那個花很小，然後它的花我們會在街上買到，基本上就是很小這麼大別在身上的。那麼我為什麼要拍這個白蘭花呢？一方面因為它是從我小時候一直生長陪伴着我的這樣的一種江南的物語，就是江南的它的一種事物非常親切，而且它成為我們生活和生命和記憶中的不可缺的那部分。那麼然後這些花其實它的花期非常短差不多只有2天左右它就會乾枯了所以說等它乾枯的時候我們可能還會把它放在那兒不會丟棄，因為它的形態非常優美，然後乾枯了以後它會散發出它的那種保存着的姿態和它曾經有過的那種芬芳。那麼我就會就是買了蠻多的這樣的白蘭花，然後乾枯了以後就一直把它放着然後就再去拍攝包括最早的時候再對就這個白蘭花系列我是用那個大畫幅拍攝的，然後會放得比較大，最大的畫幅會有1.8米乘以1.3米左右，那個非常大的，就感覺它盛開的時候有點像煙花煙火或者是非常絢爛的春天的感覺對，我們可以看到它其實是蠻大的，然後它的姿態是不同的 它出售的时候是一对的，所以我保存了它原来的样子。那么差不多这个作品是在2011年就是完全拍摄完毕的，大概有拍了16、17组吧，这么一对一对的各种姿态，然后用黑白的那个 Epson 的微喷，就是用无酸的那个纸基纸去打印出来。那后面我是后来差不多2012年的时候开始读那个书法博士。那读书法博士那个期间，就是专业的研究书法，因为我小时候也有书法这方面的训练，但是真正进入一个书法的创作和书法的研习，应该是2017年的时候啊，那时候我的导师是王东林先生，那么2012年我就读了他的博士，所以说，从这个作品11年创作到后面，我就是书法加入的时候，差不多有3、4年、4、5年的时间。那么我觉得就是如果在白兰花里边，这个是最早一点的，就是当时就是书法是写在叶子上的一些，写在它的花瓣上的，蛮小的，开始做一个书法书写和摄影影像的他们的这样的一个结合，应该是从2012年开始做起的。那么然后我在上面写的内容是最开始是关于一些诗经的内容，关于一些器物，就是中国的一些古典的比较有传统的这样的一种道家的禅宗的这样的一种思想融入在里边。我想表达就是关于万物然后植物人和他们的一种非常和谐的一种微妙的一种关系。那么然后后面呢，我就是读了这个书法博士以后就是因为我在书法上也开始有自己的创作，有临习草书，那我就慢慢的会把一些草书的彩色的内容加进去了。这个时候我会选用一些西方的一些诗词，比如说有那个西方的一些诗人的诗歌，还有一些比如说英国的那个莎士比亚的《哈姆雷特》里边的一些哲学性的包括一些法国的一些浪漫主义、印象主义的诗人的这样的一些诗加在这个里边进行创作。这个白兰花就是再看一下那个白兰花就进行创作。所以说它是有一个过程的，包括我现在今天我就更加可能会放松，对于这样的一些创作，对于一种影像可能会更加的一些分解，然后重叠，把一种彩色的一种内容和对一种抒情的，这就是比较后面的，应该是2019年、18年左右创作的，这时候的它的一种书写就会比较彩色，它会诠释一种非常快乐的一种心情和一种浪漫的境界，对，然后就是
我暂时先翻译一下楚楚刚才讲的。So I'll just briefly translate what Chu Chu just mentioned about her current works and her practice. So she actually started her PhD in calligraphy under Wang Dongling. So actually, and she's really interested in capturing the leaves and flowers from botanical gardens. So at the time, she just started to combine these two together. So these pictures showing on the screen now is actually one of her series where she depicts gardenia, that kind of a flower so popular in her hometowns, like southern part of China. So it's a very it's like kind of the flower. So like they will just buy them, and even though and just leave it at home. And so it's a kind of like a remembrance of the like hometown and like family. So she's very into this kind of flower, and so that's why she decided to capturing them with camera and combine her interest like calligraphy with the flower together. 好，楚楚你可以继续。
可以继续吗？我是不是说一段？
其实可以讲一下你最近的那个展览，可以讲一下。
哦，就是没有图片。
对，这样你可以WeChat 发给我图片现在，然后我让我的同事我们先 move on 到 Barbara， 然后我一会儿再投放你的图片上去，可以吗？
好，可以。
So okay, so Chu Chu's going to share some pictures about her current exhibition, but it will take us some time to project on the screen. So maybe now we move to Barbara to talk about her current works that showcase our gallery and also what she's been doing recently.
是我现在开始讲，对吧
？Barbara, you are on mute. 楚楚你等一下 Barbara 讲完之后，我投放你的照片，可以吗？
可以，行了。
好。
那现在就是我讲我现在最近的创。
No，楚楚你等一下，现在是 Barbara 讲完之后呢，然后我会给你说，然后现在你来讲好吗？因为我现在要把你的照片发给我的同事先。
好的。
好。Barbara, go ahead.
Hi, well, welcome to everyone, and thank you for coming. I'm going to talk about my artwork, my art practice. In my artwork, I use photography. I use many different media, whatever I need to express myself. The vision behind each of these works is, of course, the same vision. In the photography, in my video, in my drawings, paintings, the images are chosen and selected by my intuition. It is reality if I'm using film or digital, but it's transformed into the emotional expression of the energy of nature. So I'm very connected. All my work for many decades has been connected with nature. When I use photography and with drawing, it's combining these two viewpoints, the reality, which is photography, but it's the intuition, the transformation, that emphasizes the expression in the paintings. These two viewpoints are combined as one, which is the way we are connecting to the world when we're as a human. We are, it is a unity, but we have different aspects of ourselves. I have been working and concentrating on plants and on leaves for many decades, as I said. And at this point, there is no separation between myself and the leaf. I have, it has become a unity. For these forms and energy are united within me when I work, and I'm expressing and translating them into the physical reality of my artwork. This includes both all my photos, my paintings, video, sculptures, and installation. This is it's not a logical pursuit. It's but it encompasses the whole world. And I'm going, talking about as a woman, I don't, because that's if there are 4 of us women in the show, I don't differentiate myself as a person. It's not myself and a woman. This is all integral as a totality. My life, I've always been connected very much to nature, which is then that connection has grown and developed very much over the years. My interest in in the dialogue between the small details and of the macro world. So the macro world, the micro world and the macro world have always been part of it. And it's, maybe this is more feminine. It could possibly, I don't think of it, I mean, people say it's more feminine, be connected to nature. I think it's, for me, it's myself. But it does connect to Taoism. And I think there is that connection. And I've studied Taoism a bit. When I was 13 years old, I was exposed to Japanese gardens. I looked at them a lot. And I was also read a book called Zen and the Art of Archery, which is where a German philosopher in the 30s or 40s went to Japan, I think in the 30s, and studied Zen through the art of archery. And the idea that you take something and you study it for a long time and it becomes integral to you was very much an influence and has formed a view of how I interact with the world. And of course, in high school, I grew up in California. That was very much Zen, Taoism, everyone, and it was part of the culture of California, being on the Pacific Rim and being very, there was a beat culture that expanded and expanded. So I want to mention one quote that I think captured a lot of my work. The art critic Gloria Orenstein wrote, "It's like nature writing a poem to the viewer in its own language." And I feel that that really encapsulates what my work is about. I want to show, you've seen a little bit of the work on in the video. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show briefly some of the work from the show. And then I would like to show a video. It's about a 1-minute clip of a video. So I'm going to share, let me get it correct. Okay. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this is one of the works that Allison has, and it's a combination, again, of the video and the drawings. I mean, of the photos and the drawings. This is, each one is 76 by 56 centimeters. So again, this is the reality, and then the intuitive translation of reality and forming a duality. This duality forms a unity. So very briefly, this is, these are some of the works that are in the show. So always a photo with a video. I mean, sorry, a photo with a photo and a drawing, ink drawing. This is one of the sculptures. Next, I will show the video in a minute. This one is a sculpture I did in Shihu in Westlake. This is, for me, this was actually set in Westlake, which is, they hadn't set a sculpture in Westlake for a few hundred years. It's, again, it's the reality of the tree forms that I had seen in Hangzhou. And it's also the movement of the lines of nature. It's the flowing water, which each of the branches has water flowing, and which brings life and a spiritual reality to this. The ripples that are created, here is one, a vision when it's not quite as foggy in Hangzhou. The ripple effects, reflection in the lake, are caused by the water dripping, are like music and dance. So it again creates life and rhythm. Now, I would like to quickly show about a minute just over a minute of the video. Let me prepare. This is, okay, let me introduce. It's a very meditative video, and I've done a number of this series. Each one is slightly different, different images. This one is branches moving in the wind, but what you really are seeing are the shadows, and the shadows are traces of the movement. The wind is Earth's energy, and therefore what I am really revealing is the energy or the chi of the world. So there's no sound. That's the video. So very much about meditation, looking at the world, a Taoist viewpoint of connecting with nature, stopping us to really look at what we're seeing. One other aspect of my work that I'd like to discuss slightly is that I was a dancer. And I think that's very much an influence on my work. It's how I interact with the world, the rhythm, the movement, sensitivity to the energy of the body that you are trained as a dancer connects very much to the energy of the world and the awareness of physical space, of physical beings, the presence of a tree, how strong a tree has an energy there, how strong a leaf moving in the wind, what is that about? So I think you've gotten a bit of my philosophy and how I express through my artwork, even though it's different media, it's all with this vision of being connected with nature and to actually try to get other people to see and to stop and to look and to appreciate that we're a part of it and we're not separate, which is very Taoist.
Thank you, Barbara. So I think because we are quite running out of time, maybe we just quickly move to Isa first. And then Isa can tell us a bit about her work at the exhibition and what she's been doing. And at the end, I will show Chu Chu's pictures.
大家好，感谢这个机会。那我想讲的是，这次我展出的是2009年到2013年女孩系列的作品 ，Candy Club 招娣跟 Isabel， 这次没有招娣，对，那从最早的白雪公主系列，就是我有无比的勇气，到近期的牡丹亭都是这样的状况。那我在学校的时候，这个是世界开始了1980年后的后女性主义。那学校其实大部分还是在教 的东西还是停留在女性主义的部分。那白雪公主在当时白雪公主是个备受争议、受女性主义抨击的角色。那在学术领域也是比较属于负面的形象。那我想要利用这样的符号，可以回到我的画面，我有一些图片可以从我这边给大家看，就是像是在学术领域也是比较负面的一个形象，像这个白雪公主系列，然后女孩，然后我有无比的勇气，这样可能不是很清楚哦，不好意思。那我想利用这样的符号去描述网络讯息快速媒体充斥的时代下面，人要重新思考面对自己的议题。那2013年第一次到纽约，原本最初的计划是针对多元文化的研究，虽然后来埋头做威斯贝斯计划，就是现在正在台北市立美术馆展出的这个系列。那这次在台北市立美术馆有3个空间，包含意志、身体与空间3个部分，然后当中包含了纪录片，还有互动与观众互动的影片以及 NFT。但是其实再回到我们这次展出的作品，我在纽约发现人口密集多元的纽约，其实反而凸显出了人群聚方式的一个差异。然后我用那个作品的名称来去说明这个族群的特色。那我的作品其实一直围绕在人这个主题，那人在大环境现实状态的各种讨论。那女孩系列的背景是针对媒体文化、网络崛起因此产生的局限框架。我试图用各种角度去描述既定的观点，就是重新去诠释一般人一般人认为的既定的印象，试图去表达事物可能会有不同的观看的一个角度。那创作的手法的话，我希望突破摄影的想象，以铝板的反光光泽的特性加上 UV 印刷，在触感上面会比较真实。然后我觉得大家可以看到这个，就是大家比较会好奇这个部分，就是我其实是以电脑绘图的方式去绘出底层，所以它会有很多这个底下这个白色的这个部分，然后每一层分别画完之后分别叠加的印上去，最后变成有一个立体感。那我觉得如果是说成为一个女性艺术家是什么样的一个感觉的话，因为我是学院派出身，从小就是专业的美术教育，所以我觉得我很清楚，我必须付出比别人还多，但是不一定会成就更多。那的确也曾经默默的希望自己不是女性，但是我认为这是一个已经无可改变既定的事实，所以如果去揣摩男性模式，我觉得不是我应该选择的路，而是找出自己的优势，走自己的路。那我觉得身为女性艺术家，我会面对许多挣扎，跟明知道前面可能没有路，但是还是必须往前走的这样一个处境。那所以我会觉得成为一名女性艺术家是一种凡事要靠自己的感觉。那或许这也不是坏事，就是表面上困难很多，但是事实上我觉得也因此磨练出我面对困境的一个能力，不论是在面对自我的突破，或者是在现在这个瞬息万变的时代，从当初讨论媒体网络议题到现在的元宇宙，从传统摄影到现在的数位影像，那科学的进展其实现在科学快速的进展其实强迫我们每一个人都必须维持在一个持续学习的状态。那我想人生必须突破困境只是一个常态。那对我创作上的影响的话，我会刻意是使用大家熟悉的女性的符号手法，实验性的运用在作品上做表现，某种程度是一种抗议女性化内敛的抗议，但是有一些讥讽式的。 那我觉得可能这个行为它不一定会被发现，尤其在台湾，比较是非黑即白的一个社会状态，很容易会太简单的对事物下定论。那这样的做法，同时也是想知道，身为一个女性艺术家，到底可以面对多少困难？那我想就是在这样的想法上，影响着我的作品的表现方式。那身为女性，某种程度我又觉得，其实我占有，的优势是深入人群，我可以深入人群去做社会研究跟观察。那我想这部分主要影响到我的是我的作品内容。以上是我的分享，谢谢。
Thank you. Isa already shared her experience as being a female artist. She mentioned like the advantages, one of the advantages she has as being a female artist is like she can actually get really close to the crowd, to people, and to really dig deeper about people's like maybe emotion, behavior. So that really influenced her work. And so as I said, like Chu Chu is currently doing an exhibition in Hangzhou. So we, my colleague Debbie, 然後我們 show Chu Chu 嘅嗰個相啊。So we quickly go through Chu Chu's and pictures of her current exhibition, and then we will do a little bit Q&A because we're running out of time. So I just have questions for everyone. So, sorry, Debbie.
Oh, sorry. Hi, this is Daphne. I'm the gallery director of Edelstein Fine Arts. I just wanted to quickly say hello. Let me try to put the video on. Hi. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to very quickly thank everybody for coming to, for tuning in. I know this is a busy week, especially in Hong Kong during Art Basel. So I thank everybody for spending the time to come and listen to our broadcast. And especially I wanted to thank the 4 artists, Barbara, Wen-You, Isa, and Chu Chu, 4 women from basically all corners of the world. I don't know, I think Shannon had already mentioned that Chu Chu is in Hangzhou and Barbara's actually in LA now, even though she is mostly based in Shanghai. And Wen-You is in New York and Isa is in Taipei. So I thank everybody for their time. I think we can quickly show Chu Chu's video, and Shannon, I'll let you wrap up from there. Thank you.
Chu Chu，你可以我们就快速的过一下照片，然后你可以快速的就是简单介绍一下。
这个杭州秋水山庄它的一个招贤寺艺术中心，它原来是一个寺庙，然后原来那个李叔同在这边有居住过，前面是一个花园，然后它里边蛮大的，我在这边做了一个个展。然后这次主要展出的是我近6年的创作的一些精品，然后特别是大厅里边可以看一下，就是那个作品可以快速浏览。大厅里边会有我近2年创作的，就是从疫情开始到现在创作的，璀璨的星系列这个作品，这个作品的璀璨的星是源自于英国诗人济慈的灿烂的星，它这个诗歌的名称，我想给大家传达一种，希望、快乐、幸福开心这样的一种感觉。然后我主要这 这几年的一些实践，在这个影像的基础上，加上了很多后期的叠像，再创作翻拍，然后在上面用非常抽象的，你们看到可能是有书法的，有非常抽象的书法在上面进行书写，然后还有一些绘画，然后再做叠像，这样有很多层的一些创作的这样的一种手段，就在这上面会有字，就看上去有点小的图。然后里边都是拍自于杭州西湖我生活的这一带，它的影像来源。对，这个是19年就疫情那一年创作的一个比较大的一个白浪花。对，这个是致青绿系列。然后会有很多彩色铅笔啊、水墨啊，这样亚克力。
谢谢楚楚给我们分享的这个展览展到几时啊？
从5月7号到21号已经结束，反响还是很大的一个展，也好就在北山路上，所以很高兴这个做得非常好。
我们之后会在我们的公众号也分享一下你的这个展览的一些细节。So actually we it's past 11. It's like Hong Kong time now. So I'm just gonna quickly wrap up. So just a thank you, everyone. Thank you, Wen-You, Chu Chu, Barbara, and Isa Ho to joining our talk today. And thank you for sharing your practice and your creative ideas behind the works. And so this exhibition at Edelstein Aberdeen is actually gonna exhibit till end of May, which will be in a few days. So if any of you guys haven't had a chance to visit, just welcome to come. And also one of Barbara's photographer work is also being shown at the Art Basel, the Hong Kong Gallery Association booth. So they have one because we're gonna help them. It's a kind of like a donation, like charity. We're working with the Hong Kong Gallery Association. So if any of you will be in Art Basel today or tomorrow, so welcome to go see Barbara's work. And thank you everyone for the even though for the time difference, we still make it happen. And thank you everyone. And this recording we will post on our Facebook and also our MailChimp later on to wrap up MailChimp. So thank you everyone. So if you guys have any question inquiries, then can just contact us. And we're looking forward to see any photo of you in Hong Kong maybe very soon in the future. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.